Welcome back to the Short Game Podcast. It is Friday, February 13th. I'm sitting here looking at my phone, and I realize something terrifying. We are drowning in noise. Every time I open this app, I see founders doing dances to trending audio. I see people begging for attention because they think attention equals wealth. They call it building in public. I call it loud money. And here is the truth about loud money. It is weak. Loud money gets stolen. Loud money gets copied. Loud money is a signal to your enemies that you are open for attack. So today, we are going to the opposite end of the spectrum. We are studying the inventor of quiet money. We are reading the private letters of the richest man who ever lived, John D. Rockefeller. This guy owned 2% of the entire US economy. He controlled the energy of the planet. And do you know how many times he bragged about it? 0. He was a ghost. He didn't want to be famous. He wanted to be inevitable. I'm Drew Meitner. I'm building NexYear. And I have a choice to make. Do I listen to the gurus and become a content monkey? Or do I shut my mouth, build the monopoly, and let the results make the noise? We're going to find out. Let's get into it. It's 2026. I open Twitter, or whatever we're calling it this week. And what do I see? I see a 22-year-old kid posting a screenshot of his Stripe dashboard. He's made $14,000 this month. He's typed out a thread. How I scaled my drop servicing agency in 30 days. Whoop-de-doo. And I look at this, and I don't feel impressed. I feel nausea. We are living in the era of loud money. It is a generation addicted to the fake hustle. It's a culture where if you didn't post it, it didn't happen. You guys are screaming for validation from strangers who want you to fail. You are posting your revenue numbers like they are high scores in a video game. Let me tell you what that actually is. That is not a flex. That is a target. You are literally signaling to the world, I have money, I have a loose strategy, and I am insecure enough to tell you exactly how I did it. You are begging to be robbed. You are begging to be copied. Now let's look at quiet money. Let's look at the ghost, John D. Rockefeller. We are reading the 38 letters from J.D. Rockefeller to his son. This man, at his peak, controlled an estimated 2% of the entire American GDP. Do you understand how much money that is? That isn't I bought a Lambo money. That is I bought the government money. And do you know how often Rockefeller went on the radio to brag about his quarterly earnings? Do you know how often he explained his 5-step funnel to the public? 0. He was a ghost. He operated in the dark. While his competitors were loud, he was silent. While they were seeking headlines, he was buying the pipelines. The clown screams for attention because the clown is the product. The tycoon disappears because the tycoon owns the building the clown is performing in. Today, on the Short Game Podcast, we are dissecting the Rockefeller Protocol. We are not treating this book as a history lesson. We are treating it as a survival manual for the information age. We are going to answer the question, can you still build a monopoly in silence, or has the world changed too much? I'm telling you right now, the world hasn't changed. The physics of power are the same. Silence is the ultimate weapon. Focus 1. The virtue of silence. Let's get into the letters. There is a specific concept Rockefeller hammers home to his son, John. It's about the danger of arrogance and the necessity of silence. In letter 11, Rockefeller lays it out cold. He says that envy and jealousy are inherent in society. Read that again. Inherent. That means it is baked into the human operating system. It doesn't matter how nice people smile at you. It doesn't matter how many likes they give your post. The moment you win, a clock starts ticking. The moment you display your success, you trigger a biological response in your competitors and your peers. They want to see you fall. Rockefeller tells his son that arrogance leads to downfall. He warns him that good intentions aren't enough. You can be a nice guy and still get slaughtered if you are arrogant enough to think you are untouchable. In letter 14, he gives the tactical solution: lower your profile. He advises his son to maintain a humble demeanor. Why? Is it because he wants him to be a monk? No, it's strategic. Rockefeller writes that by staying humble and lowering your profile, you can observe and understand the dynamics at play. Think about that. When you are loud, you are transmitting. You are giving away information. You are telling the market your position, your strategy, and your size. When you are silent, you are receiving. You are watching. You are seeing who is weak, who is over-leveraged, and who is distracted. Rockefeller viewed information as a leak. In 2026, information is the only asset that matters. If you tell people your move before you make it, you have killed the move. You have given your competitors the roadmap to cut your throat. So, the first rule of the Rockefeller protocol: shut up. Success breeds envy. Silence breeds safety. Focus 2. Competition is a sin. Now, let's talk about how he handled the other guys. The modern advice is collaborate, community, there's room for everyone at the top. Rockefeller would vomit on that advice. In letter 5, he writes one of the hardest lines in business history: I do not go into war, but I destroy competitors. Listen to the distinction. I do not go to war. War is messy. War is expensive. War implies that there is a chance you might lose. Rockefeller didn't want a fair fight. He wanted a massacre. He wanted certainty. He didn't view competition as healthy. He viewed it as a sin. It was inefficient. Why should there be 50 companies digging for oil, wasting money on 50 different pipelines, cutting each other's prices? It's wasteful. His goal wasn't to beat them in the market. His goal was to make them irrelevant. He achieved this through controlling supply and pricing. He standardized the industry. He owned the refining. He owned the barrels. He owned the trains. When you control the rails, you don't have to compete with the guy shipping the oil. You own him. In letter 12, he talks about the thrill of making money and the victory over competition. He enjoyed it, but he didn't enjoy the struggle. He enjoyed the dominance. He says clearly, success requires a strategic mindset, and at times, sacrifices must be made. He wasn't trying to be the best player in the game. He was trying to be the game master. Focus 3. The owner mindset. Leverage. So, how do you actually do this? How do you scale without burning out? Rockefeller was obsessed with hard work, yes. In letter 15, he says, wealth is a byproduct of hard work. But he didn't mean mindless work. He didn't mean grinding for the sake of grinding. He meant leverage. There's a concept in letter 23 where he discusses cooperation. Now, don't get this twisted. He isn't talking about holding hands and singing Kumbaya. He says explicitly that cooperation is a tactical advantage. He writes that building friendships in business is beneficial. But notice the framing. It's tactical. It is about preventing destructive conflicts. It is about using other people to secure your position. And then look at letter 38. He says, let money be my slave. This is the shift from the employee mindset to the owner mindset. The employee works for money. The clown works for attention. The tycoon makes money work for him. Rockefeller realized early on that he could not do everything himself. He had to build a machine. He had to rely on collective efforts. He understood that it is better to own a small piece of a massive machine that runs without you than 100% of a job that dies when you sleep. He writes about the mortgage of life in letter 6. You mortgage your youth and your effort now to buy freedom later. But you only get that freedom if you build a system. If you are just hustling, You aren't building a monopoly. You're just digging a grave with a golden shovel. So, how do we apply this? How do I apply this to NexYear? I'm 25. I'm building a high-end agency, and every marketing guru in my ear tells me the same thing. Drew, you need to be a personal brand. You need to dance on TikTok. You need to be a public character. And then I read Rockefeller. Rockefeller says, arrogance leads to downfall. But he also says, I do not go into war, but I destroy competitors. So here is the NexYear protocol. 1. The founder persona is a Psyop. People look at my social media and they get confused. They see the memes, they see the chaos, they see me posting absolute nonsense. And they think, oh, Drew is just a clown. He's just having fun. Good. Keep thinking that. I'm not building in public. I'm distracting in public. That is the Rockefeller strategy tailored for 2026. While my competitors are analyzing my shit posts, trying to figure out if I'm having a breakdown, I am quietly locking down the infrastructure they rely on. My content is the smoke. The logistics are the fire. I want them to look at the left hand, the chaos, so they don't notice the right hand, the monopoly. 2. We are not a gifting company. Let's get this straight right now. Calling NexYear a gifting company is like calling the US Air Force a plane company. It misses the point. We don't sell ribbons. We don't sell nice gestures. We sell access. We sell the 30 seconds of undivided attention from a VIP that you literally cannot buy on Facebook or LinkedIn. The box is just the Trojan horse. The product is the meeting. While everyone else is fighting over creativity and who has the prettiest bow, which is subjective, I am fighting over who owns the rails, which is objective. 3. The Standard Oil Strategy. Rockefeller didn't win because his oil burned brighter. He won because his oil was everywhere and it was cheaper to move. I am going to build the pipeline. I want NexYear to be the standard oil of access. If you want to send 5,000 units to 5,000 addresses in 24 hours to get 5,000 meetings, you have to use us because we own the infrastructure. We control the supply. We become inevitable. 4. Cooperation as a weapon. Rockefeller said cooperation is a tactical advantage. I'm done giving ammo that competitors use or leeches on. That's ego. That's noise. From now on, I look at them as potential acquisitions. If there is a smaller agency doing good work, I don't want to crush them. I want to absorb them. I want to bring them into the system. I want to turn their competition into my cooperation. The founder is loud, but the machine is silent. That is quiet money. The lesson from Rockefeller is simple, but it is hard to swallow for a generation raised on dopamine. Validation is for the poor. Fame is a liability. Silence is an asset. You have a choice. You can be the loud money guy. You can post your wins. You can get the likes. You can feel good for 15 minutes. Or you can be the tycoon. You can shut your mouth. You can keep your head down. You can build a machine that is so efficient, so ruthless, and so pervasive that by the time your competitors realize what happened, you already own the board. I'm choosing the dark. I'm choosing the pipeline. I'm choosing the monopoly. Stop posting. Start building. Here is the bottom line. There are two ways to play this game. You can play it like a clown, dancing for likes, showing your hand, begging the algorithm to validate your existence. That is loud. That is fragile. Or you can play it like a tycoon. You can let them laugh at your memes. You can let them underestimate you. You can let them think you are just lucky. And while they are busy critiquing your content, you are busy buying the railroad they need to ship their product. So here's my challenge to you today. Go dark on the things that actually matter. Stop tweeting your revenue goals. Stop broadcasting your next move. Stop looking for a pat on the back from strangers who are poorer than you. If you see me posting chaos this week, just know it's a distraction. The right hand is waving. The left hand is signing the contract. Build the monopoly. Ignore the applause. See you in the deep end.